Yo, what's going on? As you may already know, this is Grant David from Static Multimedia, and man, do we have a great interview for you today. I have been privileged enough to sit down and talk with Vinnie Paz and Just Allah of Jedi Mind Tricks, in my opinion, one of the greatest rap groups of all time. This is like a dream come true for me, and I'm very excited to talk to JMT and find out more about their newest release, Violence Begets Violence, in stores October 25th, 2011. For those that may be unfamiliar, Jedi Mind Tricks has been around since the early 90s and have collaborated with such artists as Cool G Rap, Sean Price, Raz Kaz, Cannabis, Immortal Technique, Ill Bill, and the list goes on. But enough of me rambling, and without further ado, here is one half of Jedi Mind Tricks, Mr. Bin Laden himself, Vinnie Paz. What is going on, Vinnie? How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I just got out of bed like an hour ago. So.
Oh, what? You had a long night last night?
Nah, this is my lifestyle choice, man. I'm not a big fan of the daytime, so. For my vampire shit.
Yeah, the vampire shit, man. Good shit. Did you happen to catch any of the BET ciphers last night?
You know what? I had heard about it, and someone sent me a link to the Shady Records joint with Yellow Wolf and Slaughterhouse and Eminem.
Yeah.
And, with Premier DJing with the Tribe by Flow beat. That was real good. I don't know, were there other ones too? Or?
Yeah, there was a ton of different ones, but they definitely saved the best for last, and definitely had the whole Shady Camp go last. So.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah, man. I'm a fan of those guys.
So you're feeling Yellow Wolf and Slaughterhouse right now.
Yeah, I'm actually. I think that guy Yellow Wolf takes a lot of unnecessary shit. I think he can rap his ass off.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah.
It's not necessarily something that I would typically feel myself gravitating towards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we did the Rock the Bells tour together. You know what I mean? I think that's sort of, I think I gave him more of a listen than I might have, before, based on the fact that we want to tour together. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I'm glad I did. He's dope.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, so now let's talk a little about the new JMT album coming out. You guys got the new installment that is being released on October 25th. Violence begets violence. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What can JMT fans expect?
I think it's going to be like a really bold statement to make considering our body of work, but I think it's the most aggressive record we've ever made.
Really?
Yeah, it's just, the people that have heard it, of course, kind of like, what the fuck what is your problem?
Yeah.
this shit is serial killer music, you know what I mean? It's like, I suppose, maybe someone who makes soft music would take that as an insult, but I took it as nothing but an amazing compliment.
Yeah. Damn, man, I cannot wait to hear this new album. So,
yeah, I appreciate that, man. We're really excited about it. In all seriousness, we're really proud of it. There was definitely an aspect of, I'm sure somewhere in there you're gonna ask me about Stu, so I'll sort of, jump the fence.
All right.
And say that working with younger kids and really hungry people who still haven't maybe necessarily experienced success on a major level or been jaded yet by the industry, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To have that kind of excitement, it's like a youthful exuberance almost, you know what I mean?
For sure.
I think a lot of those kids, these kids we work with, put a battery pack in us, you know what I mean? Put a battery pack on our back, like, and kind of reminded us why it is we do what we do in the first place, you know what I mean? Because we just grew up loving this shit. So it's like, it was a really healthy experience, like being reminded of that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to not take what we have for granted in our place and, in the game and all of that, because that shit can get to your head, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So it's like I got to the point where, with me, you know, in 20 years of a tenuous relationship with Stupid, like, you know, it's like the brother that you love, you just, you know, argue with all the time, you know what I mean? And it gets to the point where you start looking at it as work. And I think when you look at art as work, you might as well just quit, you know?
For sure, for sure. So what's the personal relationship like then? Are you guys done, or are you guys still cool, or what's up with that?
I mean, it's a hard question to answer because, like, you know, in the 20 years I've known the guy, he's probably left his house 10 times anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, what really is changing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
If you're asking me, like, if I saw him tomorrow on the street, like, what would I say? Like, I show him love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, 'cause, you know, we came up together. We created records that kids love together. You know what I mean? It's our legacy. It's his as much as it's mine and Jus. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I mean, but if I tell you, I haven't talked to him, even if we were still making music, I would tell you the same shit.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? He's just not, you know, he's just not cut like, you know, that way. He's just always been on some loner, stay in the crib shit. You know what I mean? So it's not like there's any devastating feelings on the personal front, because it's like we would hang out socially a couple times a year.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
You know, I know it may not make any sense, but it's true.
No, yeah, it makes sense. That's cool. That's cool. All right, so let's get on to some happier shit. So who were some of the artists, you know, featured on Violence Begets Violence, and you know, which collaboration were you most excited about doing?
I think, you know, we've been in the past like a feature-heavy group. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We kind of held down the fort a lot more on our own this time.
Yeah.
Again, like, you know, not to sound redundant, but like we were reinvigorated. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, Young Z's on there, Pace One. You know, people know from the Outsiders.
Yeah.
Our little brother D-Mize, but, you know, that's not even really a featuring because he's family, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's pretty much on everything we do. Shit Fu from the Fushnikins, but, you know, he's been doing a lot of reggae shit, like the shit he did on the P-Rock, the New York's Finest record.
Oh, yeah.
It's more similar to that than some straight hip-hop shit, and it's a really reggae-influenced beat, you know what I mean?
That's cool.
King Magnetic is on there. So yeah, I mean, you know, it's definitely less guest heavy, you know what I mean? Because we felt like, because we were getting such a production, you know, and that created its own element in and of itself, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like, it's just, you know, we're already gonna take the heat and these kids crying and Stu's not on it, which, like, you know, really, it didn't anger me in the sense that they were upset that he wasn't on it, because, you know, we've been a group so long and making records for all these years together, but it's like, it's almost like a slap in the face in the aspect of like, what, y'all think I don't know how to pick beats now? Y'all think we still can't do an incredible record? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what, you know, if anything, rubbed me the wrong way or hurt me about that. It was that aspect, like, which, you know what I mean? I've been the one picking the beats the whole time anyway.
Well, yeah, I have always felt that you know what the fans want to hear. I mean, you know what your voice sounds good over, and you know what we have come to expect from JNC, and I think
Absolutely. And it's like I do. Am I one of those delusional rappers that says I'm the best? Of course not, but I believe I'm one of the best at picking beats.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the Army of the Pharaohs record, that's some of my fans and some of our fans' favorite work. And still didn't do one beat or any of it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, you know what I mean? I found young, up and coming, hungry dudes to work on those records. You know what I'm saying? Like, and those beats were incredible as well. It's like, yo, this isn't the only guy in the free world that knows how to make a beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, of course. We were a group, and I understand people being shocked or like taken back, but it's some dumb shit to like just write people off without just listen to it. If you listen to it and say it's whack, I'm not gonna say nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
don't. I can't argue that, but I can't argue someone dumb enough to not listen to the shit.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, so speaking of, delusional rappers, can you tell us a little bit about the Dunning-Kruger effect?
Did you read my tweet today?
Yeah, man, I've been following you.
That's sort of my little personal venting machine, you know.
Yeah.
My phone via Twitter. Yeah, I'm always talking about like I've always, the musicians are pretty delusional breed of people.
Yeah.
But then inside that, there's also a subgenre of musician known as the rapper. And the rapper is the most delusional person on the planet. So I've always been trying to figure out a way to articulate it. And I heard about that and I was reading about it. I'm like, yo, this is every rapper on Twitter and Facebook. Like people who are so delusional that they're not even aware of their mediocrity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, and every dude is just on Twitter puffing their chest like, yo, I'm about to change the game. Yo, I'm about to make a classic. Yo, if I have another person tell me, let's make a classic, I'm gonna fucking throw up. You know what I mean? Like that word classic gets thrown around like it's fucking nothing. I've been rapping for 25 years and I've never made a classic. Who the fuck is some kid on Twitter from fucking Idaho telling me let's make a classic? It's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, I don't know. I would argue that Jedi Mind Tricks has a couple of classics. I mean, Vinnie Paz especially, but I mean,
yeah. No, you know what? I appreciate that, but I'm just not that. I just wasn't raised to be like that and puff my chest and say I'm the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's for the fans to decide, not for me to decide. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
If heads like yourself think that I made a classic, I feel blessed, and I appreciate that you would say that about me. But for me, I'm not gonna go around saying that shit. You know?
Yeah. But that kind of brings me to my next question, which is, you and Jus, Jedi Mind Tricks, has always remained so real and so genuine, in all of their lines. And, when I listen to it, and I'm sure when other fans listen to it, it's evident that there's artists here at work. And you guys are some of the best MCs in the game right now, and you have been for a while. But why do you think that it is that you continue to go on underrated? Why? I mean, you guys are ripping the realest shit out there, but the following is not as big as it should be.
You know what, brother? I think it's all perception, and perception becomes reality to some people. It's like there's dudes on MTV, there's dudes on BET with their one hit, with their rented chains, their rented jewelry, their rented cars, and their rented videos.
Yeah.
And they have one hit, and in 3 months they're back on the block or back in the projects. No one cares. They have no publishing, no touring. So it's like, really, at what point, for me as a man, do I start thinking about what does that mean and what does underrated mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I've been doing this more than half of my life. You know what I mean? Have a crib, own a car, take care of my moms. I'm a sneaker fiend. I spend all kinds of money on sneakers and watches and shit like that. So it's like, I'll be underrated as far as perception is considered. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Because dudes that are perceived to be famous or rich ain't shit and ain't doing shit, and their music has no staying power.
Yeah.
It's like people are like, yo, I was just rocking Bottle by Design. I'm like, word, that record's 11 years old, and it started being recorded 13 years ago. Like, that's dope. You know what I mean? Like, that's staying power. Like, it's some shit from a couple years ago. You know what I mean? It was a hit in the club. You're like, damn, this shit sounds dated. Like, the drums sound dated, or the hook sounds dated. So it's like, it's really, your legacy is based on timeless music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm definitely content with our legacy about that tonight. You know?
Yeah, for sure. But and taking all that into consideration, I get this really strong feeling that you and Jus, you would prefer it this way. You would prefer to be underground and spit this real shit and not sell out. And I mean, would I be correct in thinking that you guys have no interest in taking on the whole MTV deal?
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. It's like, because it's I mean, what comes with that? What price do you pay? You know what I mean? It's like, what is fame, and do you really want it? You know, that old saying or concept of be careful what you wish for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, would I ever want to like not be able to go out to dinner with my mother? You know what I mean? Like because I couldn't sit there and talk to her and have something to eat without being bothered. Would I really not? You know, do I want to not be able to like, you know, go downtown and buy sneakers without being mobbed? You know what I mean? It must be hell to live like Jay-Z and Eminem. You know what I mean? It must be hell.
For sure.
And I'm fans of both of them.
Yeah, for sure. Who in the game right now are you feeling right now? Is there any, you know, in particular rappers, you know, besides the Shady Camp, which we've already talked about, is there anyone else that you're feeling that's just really doing, you know, big things and pushing the medium forward?
Well, he's locked up right now. There's a guy named Ransom from Jersey City.
Yeah.
Who I think is incredible. Like, really, I'm not using that word loosely. I think he's incredible.
Yeah.
I love Saigon. I think Saigon's incredible.
Yeah.
I'm loving the new stuff from Prodigy and the new Mobb Deep stuff that I've heard since he's been out of jail, you know?
Yeah.
I love Papoose. Ironically, I don't think any of those people I just named have a major label deal.
Yeah.
So that might tell you where my head's at, you know? It's not about underground mainstream either, because I'm a fan of a lot of people that sell a lot of records, you know? I think that's like a misconception among fans of mine, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm fans of a lot of Jay-Z's one of the best of all time to me, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not saying everyone has to share that opinion, but for me and the era that I came up in, Jay's incredible, you know? I love Jay, so it's like, but yeah, those dudes like Ransom, listen to a lot of Ransom, Papoose, Saigon, and I'm happy that P's out of jail and they're making money, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah, Havoc from Mobb Deep just did a beat for my solo album. It's coming out next year, so.
Nice. What's what's the solo album gonna be called?
It's called God of the Serengeti.
Oh, very nice. Can't wait.
I got Havoc, DJ Premier, DJ Muggs, Beat Miners, Psycho Les from the Beat Nuts on the beats. So
nice.
It should be crazy, man.
Yeah.
You know, I'm promoting this album now, you know. So.
Yeah, for sure. So, moving forward for Jedi Mind Tricks, you know, where are you guys headed? Where do you guys think that you'll be in 5 years?
I mean, we're not really going to change our format, I don't think, you know? Or not format, formula. It's like we've had the same formula since we were kids. It's, you know, our recording process and beat picking process is always going to stay the same. It's like we really developed ourselves into like a worldwide touring act, which most artists can't do. So we're doing lots of touring, you know what I mean? And staying on the road and lots of merchandise, like trying to sort of bring a lot of like that DIY aspects that was in metal and punk rock and sort of apply it to hip hop, you know what I mean?
For sure. And
so, I mean, you know, nothing's going to change, just really, you know, we're kind of a group that really, you know, the same. The more things change, the more they stay the same. That's kind of like who we are, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So, and you guys are going on tour like within a month, right? Coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, November we're gonna do a bunch of shows in the States, and then like the 1st of December, I think we land in Australia.
Nice.
For a few weeks, and then you know we'll be home for the holidays, and then start right back up again. January hit all the spots that we didn't hit in the States, and then February we'll be in Europe like all of February. So
nice,
it's grind time.
Are you excited to do that? Do you like touring?
No, I hate it.
Do you really?
Yeah, I hate it.
Why is that?
I love being in Philadelphia, man. It's where my heart is, where my home is, where my mother is. You know, they say home is where your mother is, so it's like.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know, Jus loves touring. A lot of the guys love it, but
yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I mean, 24 hours a day. You know, the 3 or 4 hours that I'm at the venue and performing and meeting the fans, I love that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's all the other stuff, though, right?
Everything else, the traveling, the lack of sleep, the bad food, it's a nightmare.
I got you. Well, that's cool. All right, man. Well, before I let you go, you know, I just want to say how much myself and the rest of Static Multimedia really appreciate you granting us this opportunity to talk to you, man. It has really been a privilege. I'm a huge JMT fan. I'm a huge Vinnie Paz fan. I think that you've made classics. And like the brick wall, that shit you do with Ill Bill, that still blows my mind to this day. It still blows my mind.
Thank you so much, man.
That,
I really appreciate the kind words.
Not a problem, man. Not a problem. So what we'll do is we'll publish this article along with the interview, and we'll put a link where fans can download or pre-order Violence If He Gets Violence before it hits stores October 25th.
Man. You have my number, so if you feel like texting me when when it's out, and we can stay in touch.
Oh, I would love that, Vinny, man. All right, man. Well, you have a good night, dude.
You too, man. Thank you for everything.
Not a problem. See you later, dude.
All right, man. Peace.